him lang, what do you feel? What do you think? What do you want them to know? Invictus.
It says to be approved by the President, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So, are you now saying, or am I mistaken, that if the DBM has approved SAROS under 2024 without the explicit approval of the President, then we have violated a special provision in the GAA, correct?
May I confer with my team, Your Honor, so that I will not risk a misunderstanding
Yes.
in my answer.
Mainit ang mga issue natin ngayon. Magandang araw. Welcome po sa ating channel. Dito sa Usapang Pinas, tatalakayin natin ang mga issue sa politika. At syempre, kung gusto mo ng mga ganitong issue, pakisubscribe naman po ang ating channel. Salamat. Sa video na to, konting update kay PRRD. At sa matapang na pahayag niya, tinatanong kasi ng kanyang anak kung kamusta siya. At matapang niyang sinagot na siya daw ay invictus. Sa Tagalog mga kababayan, hindi pa sisiil o hindi matatalo. Noon pa naman talaga matapang na yan si Tatay Digong. At alam din natin na handa siya na kahit anong mangyari sa kanya sa dahig. Ito, panoorin natin si Kitty Duterte.
Mayong adlaw, I will not be answering any questions for today, but I will be relaying a message. So, the day he was flown to The Hague, I sent my papa on his Viber what I posted on social media that day. It said, I will forever walk with pride knowing that I am your daughter, your blood. The strength you raised me with will go untamed. I will stand by the promise I made you today. I love you. And dare I say it did go untamed. No? There is nothing and no one on this earth I will not face for my family, for my papa. You know, for me to be able to love this fearlessly at such a young age speaks volumes on how Rodrigo Roa Duterte raised me. Do not be fools and think he will die with his body. His fire burns in the bluest of blue through Congressman Pulong Duterte, Vice President Sara Duterte, Mayor Baste Duterte, and through me was nobody yet but Justice Kitty. I would also like to say na he's strong as ever, strong still, while his body might become frail, spirit as breakable as always. He I didn't really discuss what happened today, but I asked him lang, what do you feel? What do you think? What do you want them to know? Invictus. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate or how charged with punishments the scroll. And he did tell me to emphasize this part. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. So, he will live longer than you think. His immortality will be seen on the minds and in the hearts of every Filipino he has saved, and very long after that through his every descendant. So, if you've noticed, the strongest and most controversial personalities are always either to love or to hate. So remember this, no matter how much you hate PRRD, there will always be someone, no scratch that, there will always be millions who love him just as much or even more.
Yes.
If you think you will win, no, you will not, because either way, invictus. Thank you.
We love you, Kid. Thank you, Kid.
Kung may tao nga naman na hindi natin makakalimutan, no, yan ay si Tatay Digong. lalong-lalo na yung mga magagandang ginawa niya sa ating bansa. Yung pilit inaalis ni Tatay Digong nung siya nakapwesto, yung korupsyon at saka droga, siya namang binalik ng kasalukuyang administrasyon, no? Dito naman tayo kay Justice Leonen. Nahuli niya dito ang mga kalokohan at paglabag sa batas. At matapang niyang pinuna dito ang administrasyon ni BBM. Naku po, mahihirapan na naman ipagtanggol si BBM na makatuta niya panigurado. At kaya naman pala, hinahayaan lang nila na pasayaw-sayaw lang si Pangandaman. Kasi pag napigayan, alam na kung sinong ituturo niyan. At sa video na to, no, kapansin-pansin na sumasakit na ang ulo ni Soljen sa kakapagpaliwanag sa kagaguhan na ginawa ng maleta niyang. As in, hirap na hirap talaga siya sa pagtatanggol dito. Hindi na natin papatagalin. Eto, panoorin natin si Justice Leonen.
Now, you mentioned in Annex K that the President does not participate for the release, correct? So I flashed the paragraph in your Annex K. Pursuant to the special provisions of the UA under the General Appropriations Act, prior approval by the President is not required for the release. This is from your compliance, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Do you refer to the GAA 24, 25, and 26, all of them?
May I confer with my team? My recollection is that yes, the answer is yes. 2024, 2025, 2026.
So it is your position that under the law, the GAA, the buck stops with the DBM, the President need not approve the SAROS, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
In other words, the DBM Secretary is no longer alter ego of the President. The DBM Secretary is co-equal with the President. Or is that a mistaken assumption?
What I could say is that the GAA has authorized the DBM or designated the DBM Secretary to be the one to perform this responsibility.
She reports to the President?
Yes,
Yes,
Your Honor.
and the President, therefore, as the Chief Executive, and there is only one Chief Executive
Correct,
in the
Your Honor.
Constitution. The President can tell the DBM, don't do that, or the DBM Secretary can consult with the President, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And the DBM Secretary is accountable to the President, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, let us look at the 2024 provisions of the GAA on unprogrammed funds. And you will note here that in the special provision, it says, subject to Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6 of Executive Order 292. You confirm that this is in the 2024 GAA?
Yes, Your Honor.
And looking at Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6 of Executive Order 292, we find there that all requests for special allotment release orders must be accompanied by a special budget to be approved by the President, correct? Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6, Executive Order 292, or our Administrative Code referred to in the 2024 GAA. It says to be approved by the President, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So, are you now saying, or am I mistaken, that if the DBM has approved SAROS under 2024 without the explicit approval of the President, then we have violated a special provision in the GAA, correct?
May I confer with my team, Your Honor, so that I will not risk a misunderstanding
Yes.
in my answer.
Naku po, call a friend na. Nanginginig na sumagot eh. Forward na lang natin, forward natin.
Your Honor, our DBM representative is clarifying that what is referred to in the GAA, in the 2024 GAA, is the presidential approval refers to the special budget request, which is a documentary requirement that happens before the issuance of a SARO.
Okay, so in other words, the President approves the special budget request, and then it goes to the DBM Secretary, and the DBM Secretary approves the SARO, correct?
Yes, Your
And the
Honor.
DBM Secretary, because she has the approval power, can actually not approve if she wants to, correct?
Correct, Your Honor. So,
In other words, the DBM Secretary can overrule the President of the Republic of the Philippines, correct? Kasi sabi nyo, mauna si Presidente sa special budget request. I-approve ni President. Pagbaba sa DBM Secretary, because you are saying that the GAA says that it is the DBM Secretary that approves the SARO, the DBM Secretary can say, sandali lang, wag muna.
for reasons, Your Honor, so for example, if there are submissions that haven't been received, if that is a correct
So it makes sense that the higher authority approves first the conditions before the lower authority approves the entire thing. In other words, the Chief Justice should first approve a travel authority before our Chief of OWAS will actually do the final approval. Okay, in other words, maybe you just covered this in your memoranda. Sufficient it is now to say that Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6 is referred to as a condition for release in GAA 2024, correct?
Correct, Your Honor. It is not reflected anymore in the 2025 and 2026.
I was going to that. Now, when we go to the 2025 and 2026, the specific provision is no longer mentioned, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So, does this mean that the GAA 25 and 26 repealed Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6 of the Admin Code?
Not repealed, Your Honor, but if I may suggest to ask, because the DBM representative was trying to clarify on why it was changed in the 2025 and 2026.
Yeah, very clear that it was changed in 25 and 26, that the specific mention of Section 35 was removed. And Section 35 contained approval by the President specifically. Correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes.
May I confer?
What is the status of Section 35 before you confer with the administrative, your administrative support? What is the status of Section 35 as law? Does it still exist in 2025 or 2026?
Yes, it still exists, Your
Can
Honor.
a specific provision in the administrative code be repealed by the General Appropriations Act?
No, Your Honor.
Because that would be exactly called a rider, correct?
Or, yes, Your Honor, an
Yes.
inappropriate provision.
An inappropriate provision, otherwise known as a kind of rider, because it must only appropriate, not repeal existing law, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So therefore, the clause now in 25 and 26, which says, and other relevant budgetary requirements in accordance with applicable laws, rules, and regulations, now also refer to Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6, Administrative Code, correct?
I would say so. I would agree with that statement, Your Honor.
So it is possible, therefore, to legally and therefore constitutionally interpret that the President should approve the SAROs issued under unprogrammed funds, correct? Whether explicitly or implicitly, correct?
For the special budget request, Your Honor, but
Okay.
not the SARO.
Yes. Now, again, just to see the importance of this, based on your Annex B, and Annex B, for information of everyone, is your compliance regarding the digital copies of all the SAROs issued in 2024, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, there were 5 SAROs that was issued for the purpose of accomplishing the President's 8-point socio-economic agenda. There is such a thing, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, the 8-point socio-economic agenda is in the President's Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So now we look at, okay, it is a priority because it is in the PDP, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes, and unprogrammed funds is merely a standby authority, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And if the 8-point plan in the Philippine Development Plan of 2023 to 2028 is a priority, why is it in the unprogrammed appropriations part of the GAA?
Your Honor, I would submit that that goes into the reasoning or the wisdom of the Congress in putting the appropriations in the programmed or unprogrammed.
So our president created the NEP. Our president has a Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. Our president has committed to the public, I have 8 points. Sustainable livelihood, green livelihood, all of them, I show it to you there. I enumerated because I wanted to memorize all of this because it is the plan of the president. That's why I wanted to memorize it, but I could not. And this is all there is. It committed it to the public. Ito yung gagawin ko during my entire term. Yet, instead of the Congress, in its wisdom, instead of putting it in the program, meaning regular, it put it as standby. Is that what you mean? We have to respect the wisdom of Congress, putting it on standby.
It is the position of the respondents, Your Honor, that we can actually debate on the soundness or unsoundness of putting certain items. And in fact, the public is already responding and reacting that is unsound. But it is the humble submission of the respondents and the Solicitor General that this is a political question. Our Constitution defines the separation of powers and in fact has
Article 8, Section 1, second paragraph, has a modification on separation of powers. Grave abuse of discretion, meaning irrationality, can be corrected by judicial review. But let us continue and let us just see what exactly were these SAROs. Page 141 of your submission is a SARO issued November 11, 2024, amounting to 12 billion released. Page 155 is another SARO for purposes of release for the President's priority, 69.9 billion, almost 70. Page 210, 3 billion. Page 215, 9.9 billion. And 228, 51 billion. Now, just to see, let's look at the highest release under for the President's priority. This is page 155 of your submission. Here is the SARO. And if you look at the SARO, the funding source is SAGIP under unprogrammed funds. You agree? Funding source, unprogrammed, SAGIP, correct?
the source of fund is that is the item in the
Yes.
appropriation,
Yes.
Your Honor. Yes.
No, not appropriation, unprogrammed appropriation.
Yes, Your
There
Honor.
is an item there called strengthening assistance for government infrastructure and social projects, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Now, reading it, it seems everything. Government infrastructure and social projects. That means everything, correct?
It means assistance for government and infrastructure social programs.
Yes, that's everything. What else is not infrastructure and social program? Education is social, everything else, correct? And that is a lump sum, correct?
It is a lump sum which
Yes.
has a specific purpose and specific amount.
That's being challenged by the petitioners, but in any case, it's a lump sum, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
In 2024, there were 47 lump sum items in unprogrammed funds, correct?
Naku po.
47 lump sum, 4 line items.
I do not have that detail now, Your Honor.
In 2025, there were 25 lump sums, no line items. You don't have that detail also.
I don't have, Your Honor.
In 2026, it was reduced to 10 lump sums, correct?
I do not have that detail now, Your
Okay.
Honor.
In any case, let us go to that SARO. It says 69 billion, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And if we move further down into page 163, if I'm not mistaken, if we scroll down, it also contains releases for flood control projects, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes, and if we scroll down further, it covers also Region 3, like Hagonoy, Bulacan, correct? Release of 70 million pesos.
Okay, I am referring to the document that you are flashing, Your Honor, that your statement is correct.
Yes. So therefore, all the 5 SAROs, the total was 146 billion pesos from standby, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And these SAROs were released under the signature of the DBM Secretary, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, the source is Sagip. Now, let's go to the other SARO for 51 billion, just to see the importance of authorities in the approvals. Page 228, Annex B, 51 billion, same. Sagip, lump sum, source, purpose, 8-point priority agenda of the President. And if we move down to page 234, a start of the listing for flood control, correct?
Based on the document flashed on screen, Your Honor, correct.
Yes, and to page 239, releases for Region 3 and Oriental Mindoro. I just want to show you where all of these are found in terms of the authority for release, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So, in your submission, the President did not participate in these releases, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes, it was, the signature is DBM Secretary, only the DBM Secretary,
Okay,
correct?
for the SARO, Your Honor.
For the SARO, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. So, is a GIP a proper lump sum item?
Uh,
Because I only flashed the infrastructure flood control. There is still road maintenance. There are different other social projects in one SARO. So, in other words, is this compliant with Bellica versus Ochoa 2013 penned by Justice Alfredo Benjamin Caguiwa, and in 2019, Saj Telly Bernabe? Okay.
It is our submission, Your Honor, that it passes the Belgica test of on a single correspondence, which is a specific amount for a specific purpose.
Okay, now I move on to our next point, but probably your team can be taking note of some of the observations that we made and covering it. We are looking at grave abuse of discretion. Okay, now, the release of the total releases of unprogrammed funds, and thank you for your submissions again. Let us start with 2025, contained in Annex F. Status report of FY fiscal year 2025 unprogrammed appropriations. Okay, there is a first page. And there are so many columns, and as lawyers looking at this, we will be daunted, but fortunately, somebody told me, just look at one column, and you will see the total releases for allocations. And based on this table, the total amount of appropriations for unprogrammed in 2025 was 363 billion and some change, correct?
Based on this document, flash on screen, Your Honor, correct?
Yes, so I'm sorry if I call the millions as change because I cannot speak all of it. The total amount of allotment releases from unprogrammed in 2025 was 218 billion pesos, correct?
Based on this document, Your Honor, that's correct.
Can you remind us again? The total amount in terms of the Bureau of Treasury certification for 2025 a while ago. The one where I mentioned even the 18 centavos. It was 100 billion plus, correct? I do not need to go to the details.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can you explain this? The total released from 2025 from unprogrammed was 218 billion.
I
But
would.
the Bureau of Treasury certificate only covers 100 plus billion.
May I ask for the
Yes,
DBM
please.
representative, please, to explain? I
Yes,
do not
please.
have the explanation now, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
Naku po, matinding pagtatanggol na naman to kay BBM. Sa bagay, kayang-kaya naman ni Auntie Claire yan eh. Ano po masasabi nyo sa issue na to? Pwede po bang pakicomment naman po sa comment section? At dito na nagtatapos. Kung nagustuhan mong video na to, huwag kalimutang i-like, i-share at mag-subscribe. Thank you for watching. Abangan ang mga susunod na videos natin. Thank you and goodbye.